You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a weekly show where 2 to 4 old guys reminisce about weekend experiences.
Yeah, like very recent weekend experiences.
Yes.
Like this past weekend, from which I believe we're probably all recovering. We've got, so they don't have to remain silent for the next, I don't know. I don't know. I think it actually
So let's do our full intros and then bring him in about 30 minutes.
Yes. 30?
We got a lot of stuff to go through.
We have a lot of stuff to go through. We've got our very own Sandwich Pope Phil.
I am here.
And we've got Time Lord Josh Edwards.
Hello, Nation.
And you guys are both here because Micah could not be.
8 silver medals.
So I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. Exalted Lord Mike, who essentially organized this entire fucking excursion to the Louisville Arcade Expo, had something going on today. So I believe he had a birthday plans for one of his daughters. So you guys are here in his stead. No pressure.
Silver medal. I like it.
Silver medal. But
I was feeling special until I found out that I was sharing with Josh, and then now I found out that even Micah was ranked ahead of us.
I had the same experience.
We're all somebody's silver medal in our lives. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm a lot of people's. I'd be happy to be a lot of people's silver medal.
Well, I think we all wanted the silver Fire Mario trophy. It was far better than the others. So
Yeah.
Second's okay. Second is fine.
So what all did we talk about? Because normally we would be playing through the NES Classic
Right.
alphabetically, but we had TADPOG Prom at the Louisville Arcade Expo.
Right. Which we did last year. This year was a much bigger turnout.
Oh, God, yes.
We probably had maybe 10, 12 dozen
500. It was somewhere between a dozen and 500.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, this year.
Last year, I think we had a hard cutoff at a dozen. And then this year, we had a whole bunch of people. And that's cool that grew. It got kind of, I don't know, a little hectic, like trying to keep everything straight. But I remember Josh and Phil were there.
Yep.
Barely. I barely do. But yeah, the Louisville Arcade Expo, it is it's right there in the name. It is an arcade expo that happens annually in Louisville. I was really happy to go back this year. I spent more time on the actual expo floor than I did last year, which was not much. If anybody's tuning in to hear if I threw up 3 times behind the Dairy Queen this year, I am ashamed to say I threw up 0 times.
We all paced ourselves. We trained all year for it.
Yeah, that is true. There was training involved for sure. I didn't even go to the Dairy Queen this year.
I only went once.
I made a pilgrimage.
You made it. You made it there, Josh.
I made a pilgrimage just to see where you had thrown up.
Nice. I should have gotten there early and marked it.
Should have done a tour. Damn it.
It's funny because I did. Nikki came this year, my wife, and when we pulled up, I drove around the back of Dairy Queen, and I was like, that's where I threw up twice in the rocks. And as you can see, here we are, right next to the drive-thru.
Still there.
Yeah, they did not clean it up. Neither the employees or the birds did their job. I feel like that's why God put birds on Earth, to eat vomit.
But not yours.
Right?
Never yours.
Yes, right. There's one boy on Earth whose vomit you shall never eat.
And I did the inverse. I spent 0 time on the expo floor this year and just drank, hung out with everybody, had sex with my wife, and slept. I regret the amount that I slept Saturday I slept like 13 hours on Saturday and
Good
missed
Lord.
everything.
Wow.
I just assumed you were having sex all day.
Oh no, I was asleep.
Me
Listened
too.
to them all, and I was asleep.
Literally everyone thought that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, we did like
Where's
once.
Tyler? He's not
but I was
here.
sleeping
He's
the
probably having sex.
rest.
That was the default answer. Whenever anyone would ask anyone, "Where's Tyler?" the answer was probably having sex.
It did happen most of the time, except in probably 8 of those 12 hours of time.
So we were right
Most
most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm Dave, your bespectacled host.
Oh yeah, Mira's
And I'm here with Tyler, of course, and Phil and Josh, as we mentioned.
Yeah. I think we should take the time to acknowledge maybe any potential new listeners, since we carpeted that expo with enough business cards to choke a cat. So
True story.
Hello, new listeners. This is not this is not your normal experience. I promise. This is probably going to be a little fast and loose. And I'll be honest, I'm usually a lot more prepared coming into an episode than this. I have done very, very little to prep for this episode because
I opened this cider.
you opened the hard
That's
cider,
about all
and
I
then
have done.
here we are. I made some brief notes, but that's about it. And it's mainly just to try to not forget the major things. It was so one of the really cool things about the Louisville Arcade Expo was meeting a whole bunch of listeners. And friends, of course. But I got to meet a whole lot of new people who listen to the show, and some people even brought us stuff. So I do have like a pile of potentially neat shit to look at. We're going to have to do our best to sell this in audio. First-time caller Nate Glines, he brought a whole bunch of cool stuff. I do want to lead with this. He did bring a DVD Monsters of Jizz for us. So we do have our very own copy of Monsters of Jizz, which I have not checked out yet, but does not look like there's any data burned onto this DVD, but I hope that I'm wrong.
at this point, I would also like to point out that if you're a new listener listening in the car with your child, the business cards did say not safe for work on them. So that's your fault that you exposed them to Monsters of Jizz.
You're either the best parent or the worst parent. I'll let you know when my child does or does not graduate from high school, because I do feel I'm the one who said Monsters of Jizz, and I know he's listening. Probably 12 years down the road, and he's like, "I wonder what my dad was like."
Where is that DVD? I wonder if I can find that.
There's plenty. It's weird because there's plenty of stuff. There's actually, I received a book. One of the listeners, Mitch Odor, aka Catchpenny Gaming, he brought us a bunch of books. And one of the things that it was great because like he drove in this mini. He after breakfast, he's like, come to my car. I've got some things for you. And it's like, all right, great. I will go there, and he stabbed me.
This rag smell
No,
like
just kidding,
chloroform?
right. Tell me what this rag smells like. And he opened up the trunk, and it's just full of trade paperback comic books that his place of business was planning on just throwing away. So he grabbed them all, and he's like, help yourself to any of these. And I was like, okay. There's this like Ninja Turtles book from IDW that looks really cool. And then he's like, no, take this. And he handed me a paperback book called MILFs of Mars, which is essentially like all just like sketches of like pinup sketches of like 1960s inspired like women in astronaut helmets with nothing else on, posing provocatively. And as I was gathering things up to bring to this recording, I saw that and I was like, this is a thing that I'm going to have to hide from my son because I don't want to throw it away because I think it's great. But I also don't want him to think that this is something that daddy ever masturbated to. So I feel like I need to like write a letter and like keep it in the front cover. So one day eventually when he finds it, it's like, dear son, I'm sorry you found this. Please allow me to explain. I'm keeping this for novelty only. and never have I touched my penis while viewing it.
Well, if there's a date on it, he'll know like, oh, Dad was past the age where he could jerk off to things like this.
Right, yeah, exactly. Dad was in his 30s, so
It's not 1998. Okay, it's fine.
right. Oh God, I could have made this book work when I was like 12 years old. You betcha.
So when did you guys start masturbating to hardcore pornography?
This is an open question for Phil and Josh.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Let's bring them back in.
I think a previous episode, I may even had an intro story about how my stepfather, who was a long distance truck driver, died in a car wreck, and we got his stash of VHS porn from his truck. So that was when I was exposed to my first hardcore pornipornography, right around the age of 13, which is like the choicest age to get that kind of stuff.
That's the best.
So
You got like
not too early, not too late, just like nice creamy middle right there.
In remembrance of him.
I see what you did.
And speaking of VHS tapes, I thought about you, Phil. It was very shortly after you had left on the last day of the expo. I was on the floor, and there was a guy with a bunch of VHS tapes. I just happened to be at this vendor's booth looking through his NES games, and he like sat down at the table, like kind of like dejected, and he was like, "I cannot get rid of these VHS tapes." And I was thinking, "Oh God, I wish Phil was here because he might take this enormous stack of VHS." I saw Speed in there. I mean, there was some good shit in there.
No, I am 100% culling my collection. This is I don't have anyone to watch it anymore with. This is something I did in my 20s when I was constantly around other guys without kids and spotty work. So
Morals? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a given.
My kids love VHS tapes. They all watch Disney movies on VHS tapes.
Why?
On the big screen, which looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it does.
Why is it when I watch Aladdin, this one part is all like tracking, it's all weird. It's like someone said something here, but I can't even make it out anymore because the tape is so warped. It's like Jasmine says,
It's like Melissa's dad, how he somehow clipped out the boobs from her copy of Titanic.
Wait, what?
She had for the day Titanic came out on VHS, she had a bunch of friends over, and she put it in and played it, and right at the scene where you see Kate Winslet naked, it just skips. And as soon as he got it, he put it in and
he cut it and spliced it?
He edited it. We're not sure how he did it so perfectly. Like there's no blank for a second, like he hit record to make it go over it. It just
I was hoping she's about to take her clothes off.
Still don't know how he did it.
And then a guy is falling to his death when the boat is the ship is split in half. It's like, whoa, good Lord. I got the message loud and clear. Take your clothes off, fucking disasters happen. I think that's the moral of that movie.
Did he actually cut the tape? Because that's how they used to.
We're not sure how. I need to ask him. We're not sure how he did it, but it was perfectly done, and she was so mad.
Maybe he dubbed the tape. Maybe he had a dual VCR action going on, and he dubbed it to one and just paused the recording VCR.
Maybe.
And then started the next. Yeah.
We have a real mystery on our hands that we need to unravel. What's his number? Can we add him to the Discord chat?
Yeah, just hey Chuck, you know that thing I won't friend you on Facebook over because I don't want you to see it? You're on it now.
Hey Chuck, we're gonna this is actually a 2-hour episode where we walk you through installing and logging into Discord. I've never met him. He may be very internet savvy for all I know.
Nope.
I mean, he fucking did a number on that Titanic tape. He could probably get into Discord.
Yeah, he's an electrician, so he's savvy with all that. But the internet stuff, nah.
Yeah, he sounds. If he's dealing with editing tape, he sounds like an analog guy.
Yeah.
So, Josh, when did you start masturbating to hardcore pornography?
I thought you forgot me.
No, of course not.
I might escape that one.
No. That was in the back of my mind the whole time. Don't worry.
So I told an intro story about thinking there's got to be a porno mag somewhere here in this house.
There's got to be a better way.
There's got to be. And I found a magazine in the garage, just like I was like, I'm certain there's got to be one in here, and I found one.
How did you? What was the tip? Do you remember? Like you just new? There's so much shit in here. There has to be pornography somewhere in here.
Yeah, we had moved into a new house, and so in my head I was like, well, maybe the previous owners left something here, and so I went into the garage and I like got up like right near the top of they got a ladder and like was up there, and I was like looking on all the like the highest shelves, and there was this dusty old like 1970s black and white.
MILFs of Mars.
Yeah. And that was the first time I'd seen like a really explicit magazine. So probably then I was probably about 11, 12. So
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good. We're proud of you. So, along with MILFs of Mars, Mitch also got us a bunch of other stuff.
And Monsters of Jizz. Both of those.
Always.
Yeah, the Monsters of Jizz was actually from Nate. I'm switching gears to Mitch's because
okay.
MILFs of Mars came up, and I don't want to forget. A long time ago, Mitch was a viewer on Twitch, on the TADPOG Twitch channel, and he asked what comics we liked. Mm-hmm. And when I told him, I was like, well, I know Tyler likes Venom, but I do not know how much of the new run he's read. So I was like, that might be kind of dicey.
Very little, but I'm whatever. Anything Venom.
Well, I fucked up because there's nothing Venom in here
Venom,
for you.
New good Venom, it's whatever.
There's nothing Venom for you in here. So what I said was, well, he probably would like, there's a really good series called Saga. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's amazing. And here are the first 7 volumes of Saga for you to read. Saga's amazing. I know you've probably seen Saga cosplay at Dragon Con and haven't realized it, but as you read it, I'm willing to bet you'll notice a few of the characters. And then he got me this awesome gigantic Usagi Yojimbo saga.
That's awesome.
Because we were talking about Usagi Yojimbo. He also was kind enough to include the crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then, I guess as a bonus, I don't know who this belongs to, but I actually think that we should maybe give this away.
Okay.
He included a really cool book called The Art of Splatoon, and it is an art book with Splatitude. I think that is important to note. And it is a huge book that retails for $40. I think it's really cool, but I think it would actually be a lot cooler to give it away somehow.
Okay.
So maybe if we can, I don't know, figure out a way. The rest of this episode is just going to be us figuring out how to give this book away.
Yep.
So to enter, if you could just, in the Facebook comments of this post, if you could just tell us how old you were and when you first masturbated to hardcore pornography. Just do that publicly on Facebook, and you'll be entered for a chance to win this wonderful hardcover art book.
They'll also have to listen to this episode that is not going to be game related. So
that is true. This is going to be a toughie to promote. That's okay. That's all right. Every now and then we got to have fun. So that is it from Mitch. Mitch, dude, thank you very much. That's Catch Penny Gaming. He was streaming on Twitch. I have been really hands off on Twitch, so I don't know if he currently is or not. But regardless, check him out on Twitch for sure. Catch Penny Gaming. Back to Nate, first time caller Nate from Utah, who gave us Monsters of Jizz. He also, this is a reference point. I feel like it's really important to make. He also brought a red floppy disk for Paul Korn, because as you know, that's where all the anime porn was kept. He brought this awesome Etch-a-Sketch. This was
that thing is so cool.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
It is amazing. It is the TADPOG logo done on an Etch-a-Sketch. He commissioned a friend to do this, and it is absolutely it is probably the best thing that I have ever seen in my life.
Not
like,
to oversell it.
Not to, right. No, I don't feel like I'm overselling it. I do feel like
no, it's awesome. Yeah.
If I had, after 9 months of Nikki being pregnant, she gone into the hospital, and I stood there and held her hand, and then this came out of her, I think I would probably be just as happy.
Oh, Henry's going to love hearing this.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
No, I love you, son. I do. I love you, son. Just look, You have to listen to this because you found my MILFs of Mars, and this is your payment.
Just know there's competition. There's competition.
Exactly. He also brought us this. I'm going to give you these, Tyler. These are postcards.
Are they Fallout postcards?
I do not know. I haven't read them yet or looked at them. I kind of felt like the postcards are they're your thing, so I wanted to make sure you got the first dibs.
Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel, dedicated July 4th, 1930. I went down to Zion NP.
NP?
Zion NP.
Anybody?
With my wife, Christy. She was running a half marathon. The night after...
Oh, Zion National Park.
National Park.
Yeah.
You can tell we're outdoorsy.
Zion, no problem. I don't... The night after the run, I walked into a hold the moan situation.
Nice.
I went to the men's restroom, and a guy was sexing a girl from behind. Not in the stall, but in the open locker room.
Nice. So what did he do?
When I started washing my hands, they ran out. Christy told me a guy
Like
and a
they
girl
were grossed
ran
out?
into the ladies' restroom. All said and done, it was a pretty good weekend. Love you guys, Nate from Utah.
Meanwhile, they got home and they're telling the story to their friends. Can you believe this guy who was washing his hands in the bathroom?
Like we were trying to fuck him. We were like, come on, dude, fuck it. He just fucking washes his head.
Yeah, pretty ballsy move by that guy.
And then gateway to
Rude.
Bryce Canyon, Highway 12 through Red Canyon. It just says, no public sex, 2 out of 5 stars.
Nice. Thank you for that, Nate.
I'm glad I read the one I was supposed to first by sheer coincidence.
I know, that's great. Yeah, I didn't pre-read them. I wanted to be surprised. So the last thing we've got, we were given this package by Paul Anderson. Paul Anderson found this at the convention, this white box, which is filled with...
Just sitting in the floor.
Yeah, right. Unattended. This is actually...
It just has scrawled crudely on the side in Sharpie, anime stuff. So we'll see what's in it.
This is a random box of anime that he purchased at the expo. So I don't know. Oh, actually, this looks like this is not an anime. This is a Marvel magazine celebrating 75 years of Marvel. Okay, I can see why nobody wanted this and they put it in the box.
It looks slightly used.
It does. Actually, it looks like this is just comic books. So maybe I misunderstood. Josh, you were there when he gave it to me, right? Do you recall?
Yeah, I think he said it was an anime box, and I remember set up at the expo with the mystery boxes, and it definitely said anime over there. So that was my understanding.
It is comic books. It looks like they pawned off a whole bunch of Rob Liefeld stuff on us. I'm flipping through here, and it's like, okay, Wildcats 18. Cyber Force 10. I did not know that was a comic book, but that, all right, that is a comic book. A pre-order. Oh, wait, that's an ad. I'm about to read an advertisement on the back of a comic. Hey, I know the X-Men. There's an X-Men rated T+, number 3. There is, Paul, I don't know how much you paid for this, but it's too much.
It sounds like if it's an anime mystery full of comic books, the mystery is where's the
anime? Dear Louisville Arcade Expo, I am writing this sternly written letter to inform you of a vendor who has gone rogue. An episode of Moon Knight by Warren Ellis. I hear actually this is a really good series.
Isn't that a good way to offload shit? Box it up and just write mystery box on the side.
Welcome to Loot Crate.
I'm pretty sure Phil received a Stein without a handle from you, Tyler.
We'll do the TADPOG mystery box.
I got the first TADPOG Loot Crate. It's great.
So far, we've given away a broken mug and a copy of Goosebumps #1 held on by masking tape.
Let's not forget the penny book, right? Was that given away?
No, Dunnigan has still not gotten his copy.
Was not claimed
of that Tyra Banks.
I can't remember the name of the Tyra Banks book that you got for a penny. Uncanny X-Men #9. Just the ugliest cover I've ever seen. Smallville #14. If anybody wants to pull this up online, you can see the dumbest looking Supergirl you have ever seen in your life. No offense. Hey, wow. Generation X.
Model Land.
Model Land was the book. Generation X number 8. I own this book. I bought it. I remember buying this comic book when I was a teenager in high school. That's an older book. It's not worth anything. We also have the 6th printing variant of Avengers versus X-Men 0. Titans number 8. Age of X, X-Men Legacy. Glory, which looks like it's actually a very gory comic book. There's a woman. It looks like it might be Elektra with a sword fighting a werewolf. It looks like, you want to take a closer look at that one. It looks like there might actually be sex in that one. Out of all the ones that we've gotten, that's probably the one that has the most sex in it.
It looks sort of like when Wolverine gets the adamantium pulled out of through his pores.
Yeah, except it's blood.
Yep.
Line of Defense, a comic book that kind of looks like it might be based on a video game. Who's Who, DC, October 1985. That's cool. All right. Another Teen Titans and Superboy. And there's a rolled up piece of paper in here, which might actually be anime. It's actually a scroll with a download code for anime.
Or it's the gotcha rage face.
Oh, it's actually
okay.
A drawing of the Tick. All right, well that's cool. All right, Paul Anderson, you done got ripped off, man. They did not give there wasn't an ounce of anime in here. There wasn't anime resin in here. But thank you regardless.
Appreciate the sentiment.
Yep, definitely. Y'all ready to talk about the expo?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's do it.
These are box closing sounds that we're hearing.
So what did everybody else do while I was asleep?
That's a good question.
Nothing, apparently.
What was your expo experience?
Wait, there was an expo?
So I hear.
I think probably the easiest way for me to do it is to talk about the most memorable moment of the expo, and maybe kind of unwind from there. One of the big things I was excited about this year was so a little background. I'm sure everyone remembers from last year, Bit Brigade was there last year, and they played the soundtrack to Mega Man 2 while somebody played Mega Man 2. I hear it was amazing, but I was too drunk to attend. I didn't know where I was yet, or know what time it was, so I totally missed that event. So I wanted to make sure that I did not miss the musical guest this year. And then when I found out that it was Mega Ran, that solidified the fact that I did not want to miss this year because I love Mega Ran. Never seen him live. And that was the highlight of the expo for me. It was amazing. I thought it was an amazing show. I had heard most of the tracks, but not all of them. There was like a Final Fantasy VI track that went into a Final Fantasy VII track, which that part was that was amazing. Not the highlight of the show. The highlight of the show was he did this freestyle. He did this freestyle rap where he had people hold up objects in their hands, hold them up over their heads, and he would from the stage take the items out of their hand and rap about it. One of the things that he picked was Paul Korn's Red Floppy Disk. And that made me so fucking happy because I was like, in the most minor possible way, Mega Ran rapped about TADPOG Podcast.
Yep.
In the most absolute minor way. It did happen, though, so count it. And please engrave it on my tombstone. Was co-host of a show of which Mega Ran very minorly rapped about one time. No other life accomplishments but that one.
He did acknowledge the podcast when we were standing in line to get.
He did.
Afterwards.
He did acknowledge the podcast. He sounded. I would say it's probably fair to say a little frustrated when he's like, "Yeah, I can't not hear about this podcast." Because Josh, I believe you told everybody who was in line to buy his merch.
That's partially my fault. I told everybody in line, and I told the audience during the show, and every TADPOG person I found, I told them all to remind Mega Ran that the party was in room 1142. That's your room, Dave.
Yeah.
To remind them that the party was there and that we'd be in the courtyard, and if he couldn't find us, he'd hear us.
He'd be able to hear us.
Yeah. So that's
We were
I
a
want to
raucous
take a little
bunch.
credit for that. Yeah, it's my fault.
But that was amazing. I got a Megaran shirt. I got it signed. Got a photograph with him. And you too, Josh.
Yeah.
So, and you actually, Josh, you were. What's the name of the mouse in Dumbo who gives him the feather? Like that was you. You were the mouse.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Do we know this?
I don't know the name of the mouse.
Together, can we figure this out? I did not. I was terrified because I did my normal con thing where it's like whenever time I'm at like an artist alley or something, and there's someone there who I like admire. I do not want to meet them because I am scared. And
I kind of picked up on that a little bit.
That happened hardcore because we got there before the show and Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue, aka Micah, mentioned, look,
TADPOG Dad.
Yeah, TADPOG Dad, TADPOG Prom Dad, TADPOG Prom, official TADPOG Prom chaperone. He pointed out the merch table and I was like, oh, fucking sweet. I want to see what's here because I definitely wanted to buy a shirt. So I get like maybe 8 paces away from the table and I realize that Megaran is actually behind the table and I face and I noped the fuck out of there. I was like, I will get a shirt when there's someone else running the table because I am scared to meet Megaran. And then after the show, it turns out he was running the merch table and Josh was the mouse from Dumbo.
I see his name now.
What's his name?
It's Dumb.
His name is Dumb, and the elephant's name is Dumbo?
Yep. So they were Dumb and Dumbo.
Dumb and Dumbo. The Disney Buddy Cop afternoon special that we all wanted.
Timothy Q. Mouse.
Timothy Q. Mouse? I thought you said it was Dumb.
That's a great name.
That's a great name.
That's a great name.
Josh, thanks for being my Timothy Q. Mouse.
Anytime, yeah.
Because meeting Megaran and shaking his hand and just talking to him for a little bit was most definitely the highlight of the expo for me. Like that is one that
nice.
I mean, I'm going to remember that for a very long time. What about you guys?
I could see you were a little nervous, and I was not familiar with Megaran, so I thought the concert was great, but I didn't have that like starstruck kind of feeling. So I was like, oh, okay, Dave wants a shirt. Dave wants this signed. Dave would like a picture.
You facilitated all of that. Essentially,
let's make sure this happens. Yeah,
you facilitated all of that, and you were really nice and waited in line with me. And Micah both. You guys didn't have to do that. That was really cool.
That was a nice moment.
You gave me courage. Yeah. You were my Birdman courage, a la Earthbound. Just got to bring it back to video games somehow.
Yeah.
So I'll have a link to those who aren't familiar with Megaran. I'll have a link to a few of his tracks in the show notes.
Yeah, for people such as me, I did not know who he was going into it. I didn't actually stay to listen to him that much. So, oops.
Well, it was good. Yeah. It was really good. I was impressed.
I thought it was very.
That was
good.
the only part of the expo I was really interested in was seeing Megaran.
Yeah,
but yeah, I didn't end up going. I wish I had.
He was a super nice guy.
Yeah,
he was really nice.
He was really.
He was really friendly with everybody. He gave everybody time, to talk or say whatever or get a picture, and it slows down the line, but I think it makes fans. He was really good at that.
Yep, he was very cool. Very cool.
And he did say he would stop by the party if he had time after he broke down, the gear. But he had like a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah, he said a 6 o'clock flight. So
yeah.
Which I hope wasn't a line of bullshit.
We'll help you break it down.
Right.
No, we'll do it right now. There's a bunch of us. We'll break it down right now. 2 seconds.
We're at the end of the line. It's no big deal. I got nothing to do. It's fine.
No, man, it's cursed, man. I don't want you guys to get cursed.
So what's your favorite pizza topping, Megaran? So what are y'all's highlights from the expo? Do you have any high moments?
Having sex, or is there? You mean the expo, like being on the expo floor?
No.
Wait, did you say having sex? Because I was in your room. I was in your bed.
That's not all you were in, apparently. That's a sex joke. That's a butt sex joke.
Josh fucked Phil.
I think Saturday night from about like 6 p.m. until 5 a.m. Everything from cashmere to go-karts to karaoke afterwards, and that was just an incredibly good stretch for the weekend.
Dude, go-karts was a lot of fun.
I think I said Saturday. I meant Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night go-karts at, I think it's Bluegrass Karting in Louisville. That was a lot of fun, and I thought it was great that the course had not changed from last year because it gave everybody who was there last year a distinct advantage over the newcomers, an advantage that I needed really badly. I did better than I did last year. I didn't do nearly as well as some people on this call.
You did well. Sorry, my connections went in and out, so I missed like the last 30 seconds. But you're talking about the go-karting night, right?
Yeah, talking about the go-karting night.
Yeah.
Which you did very well.
And Phil did very well.
And Phil did a little bit better than that.
Yes, that's the thing. You said that it gave a distinct advantage to the returning folks, but Ben and Josh were new and they got first and third. So
that is true, but I do feel maybe I'm speaking personally because I feel like I did better because I had done that course before and I knew how to take a few of those turns better than blind.
Yeah,
but you're right.
All the groups got better the second time they went around the track. After the first heat, the second heat, every group improved, but you made a big jump. You gained like a second and a half, which in go-kart time was like huge.
In go-kart years, yeah, I think that is because I think on our first go-round, I think we had a lot of yellow caution flags and stuff where I think we had to slow down. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe I just got better, but I don't know. It's possible. Ben won that. Ben Carruth of Street Pizza Podcast, which I believe is making a return soon. I'll have a link to his show in the show notes at tadpog.com. He is really good at driving a go-kart.
Good.
Virtually
and he wanted
in
it.
real life.
He was aggressive. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, he's like the kart king. Like Mario Kart or go-kart, it doesn't matter. It's got kart in the name. He's good at it.
He's on it. Because he
Golf cart,
also won the
shopping
TADPOG
cart.
Mario Kart tournament. Yep, shopping cart.
Phil, what was your personal highlight?
I was thinking about this, and I kept going back to playing X-Men at Rec Bar as
Me too.
As the most entertaining arcade cabinet I played at a arcade expo was the one that wasn't at the arcade expo.
Same.
Flying 2,000 miles out to Louisville and spending $70 on a weekend pass and then going to a different place and pumping $10 into an arcade cabinet.
X-Men was really fun because it was really fun, like putting a $20 bill into the token machine and then spilling it all out onto the control panel with the attitude of, I don't care how much money this takes, but we are going to beat this game here today.
That's right. We didn't always have 6 players all the time, and it cost $74 in tokens, but we beat that shit.
We did beat that shit. Legit. My only complaint about it was no one could play as Cyclops, because essentially it was a 5-person X-Men arcade because Cyclops didn't work. Anytime you tried to put money in, it wouldn't take it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I just thought we didn't ever find a 6th.
We just no, we just did it on hard mode. We did it without our leader.
That's right.
So,
that's right. There's 5 of us.
I know. We even had Dazzler as a handicap.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
But yeah, Rec Bar was really cool. And it was I know that they loaned out some games to the expo as well. So I'd like to go back sometime. Honestly, I was talking to my boss today at work who likes racing, and like we started talking about, like, I explained my problems that I was having on the course, the track, and he was giving me tips, and it's like, God damn it, I want to go back like mid-year and run that course again and go back to Rec Bar and spend $80 there. Rec Bar was also cool because I got a Frosted Flake chicken tender there, which is a chicken tender breaded with Frosted Flakes, which really was very good. It tasted kind of like chicken and waffles to me.
Okay.
Which is good.
See that.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It was amazing. And with the honey mustard was right there. It was good.
Nice.
Set it off.
Well, my favorite moment is outside of the expo, like arcades, which to give some background, because my wife Melissa, because we met when we were 12. She was like my girlfriend in middle school. We were best friends in high school. And there was kind of a will they, won't they? You know, we always cared for each other, but neither one of us did anything about it. We never went to a school dance together. And that's always been
Never one.
Never once. That's always a regret of mine, particularly Sadie Hawkins, because that was the one I always really wanted to go to her with. Like for her to ask me, and we get matching shirts. I don't know why. It just always was.
I know why.
That was an important one to me.
Because she had to ask you. She had to profess her love for you.
The only time we came close was she hadn't asked anybody, and a bunch of friends, we all showed up at the same time. And she had on a flannel shirt, and she brought a flannel shirt with her. And she walked over to me and Cockmaster Ashley Shake. And she's like, well, which one of you wants to go with me? Of course, I'm still in my panic mode. Like, oh, shit, okay, well, I can't. Okay, well, I don't want to be mean to Shake, and I don't want to tip my, too far to Melissa. And the split second that I thought, Shake just reached out and grabbed it. It was like, nope, all right, yep, we're going, put it on. And she's like, motherfucker.
So, okay, technically she did ask you.
Technically, you're right.
Technically she did. Technically she asked two people at the same time, and one of those persons was you.
Yep. But again, it's just always something I just always regretted. So she planned way in advance something incredibly sweet and romantic. She talked to everybody. I was at the other end. I was at the expo waiting for everybody. We took our big group picture, and she's like, I need to go to the bathroom, and she vanished, and I couldn't find her anywhere. So everybody left, and I just stood there waiting for her, like, where did she go? And she calls me, and it sounds like she's crying. She's like, oh my God, just come to the room right now. And I was like, what's wrong? She's like, just come. And hangs up. And I was like, oh shit, what happened? I was like, I hope is her mom, did Bella still home? What? I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, you're trying to figure out who died.
Yeah, I was like, oh
okay,
shit.
Great, cool.
So, did our room get broken into? Like, what the fuck? So, in that, which was brilliant on her part, because that drew my attention. I walked right through the courtyard where everybody was and didn't notice a fucking thing.
You didn't notice that we were all wearing matching clothing?
Nope.
Excellent.
Nothing.
It was also very dark in the courtyard, to be fair.
And I went to the room, and when I opened it up, well, one, she did lock herself out of the room.
So there was an actual problem.
There was a problem,
nice.
But she built it up to distract me because she didn't have a key on her, and she walked out of one door, leaving that latch on the other door. So she had to go to the front desk, and they got like this special tool that moves it out of the way for you to go in the door.
The murder tool. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
So I know something exists to overcome that barrier.
Right. Excuse me, I've been locked out of my room. Could I borrow your murder tool? That screwdriver.
And so when we finally get in the room, she hands me a note folded up in a little paper football. And when I unwrap it, it's her asking me to go to Sadie Hawkins. She gives me a Ready Player One shirt that she has on.
Yes.
She originally last week bought matching DuckTales shirts, but forgot them here at home whenever she left.
So when you say that she gave you the shirt that she had on, do you mean like she took it off and gave it to you?
Yeah.
Because like that's a pretty
smaller shirt.
That's a pretty hot way to ask somebody to go to Sadie Hawkins.
I'm topless and you're in a shirt. Yes, that is exactly how Sadie Hawkins works.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
It's also how I'd like sex to work, please.
Yeah, right.
If I could wear some clothes and you not, that would be perfect.
That would be wonderful. So then whenever we went out to the courtyard, everybody there had on matching shirts and played 90s music and dance, and it was super sweet and amazing. And
cool.
I can't express how much I love her for doing that. It was incredible.
It was cool. It was very sweet. And I'm glad that I got to be a part of that too.
Because I know Chandra was very excited about it, because Chandra had never been to like a school dance before. So when Melissa told her, like, let's do a Sadie Hawkins dance, she was like, fuck yeah.
There's probably more. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm really glad to hear you say that, Tyler, because I know that she put a lot of thought into that and wanted it to be special for you, and so to hear you say that it was really cool. Yeah. And you guys danced to "I'll Make Love to You" by Boyz II Men, which I thought was entirely appropriate.
It's a good choice. I do feel like it's a good choice.
She was also my very first slow dance ever in the 6th grade.
Oh, so you had middle school dance, but just not high school dance.
Right.
I got you.
It was like a a kid had a party at the Calvert City Civic Center with a DJ.
Not a
and they
school
played-
dance. Not an official school dance.
No. Not something where you ask it to get a date to.
I got you. Counts in your heart, but not on paper.
I mean, I'd slow dance with her several times. We never like asked each other and went to a dance.
I got you.
Yeah.
There was probably, would you say, more or less drinking at the Sadie Hawkins, what we held at Louisville Arcade Expo, as opposed to like a high school Sadie Hawkins dance?
It's pretty close. Pretty close.
I drank a lot. I drink a whole lot.
Yeah, this is the most I've ever drank during the weekend of the expo.
I got to try the Malort. Malort?
Oh, man.
Malort that the MacTac guys brought for us to try.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awful.
Yeah.
It tasted
They're
like,
very nice, though.
They are very nice. Yes.
It's awful by design. I mean, they knew what they were upfront about that.
And I knew that going in too. I was just trying to I literally went into, so Malort is this, Malort, I don't even know how to say it. Malort.
I thought they were mispronouncing Merlot.
I got some Lord for you. Let's Mike and Kyle talk about cops.
Yes.
So plug them. They do a great show.
Yeah, they do an amazing show. I'll have a link to their podcast in the show notes as well. But this Malort is a drink that is it's an alcoholic beverage that is local to the Chicago area. And from the way they described it is so bad that it cannot leave the area. It's difficult to find anywhere else.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. That is honestly, that is capitalism at work, I feel like.
Nailed the local market. These guys don't have any taste buds. They'll drink this.
Right, exactly. But it is, it kind of tasted like industrial cleaner. I imagine how industrial cleaner would taste.
Bleach and cigarette butts and
Yes.
fish sauce. And, oh, man.
And by that, I mean I actually tasted it in my throat before I tasted it in my mouth, which is not good. Kind of like how when I eat spicy food, like really spicy food, and it catches in my throat before the spice even hits my tongue. That's what it felt like. And then the burn had a weird flavor to it as well because it burned, but that burn wasn't just like a regular alcohol burn. It was infused with
Evil.
Yeah. I feel like that is a good way to put it.
I would describe it as stomach acid. It was basically bile.
Is there a chance that he just switched it with a bottle of Pledge and didn't tell anybody?
I think Pledge is a really good
These
comparison.
fuckers won't know. Let's get them to drink our piss and with some Pledge mix in a little bit of gasoline.
We'll drink it too, but before we do, we'll take the antidote.
We'll cover our mouths with candle wax so it doesn't actually.
You don't know this, but actually hidden inside my mouth is a condom. So I'm not going to swallow it at all. I've surgically sewn a condom into my esophagus so that when I drink this, it doesn't reach my stomach.
And on my tongue. So
yeah, I've put a condom on my tongue. We got a dental dam. That's what a dental dam is, right? A tongue condom? I don't really
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
I've seen two people I know make out through one.
Really?
Yeah. Two guys. I guess they thought, oh, this isn't weird at all. Let's they look not gay. It was we had diddle dam.
Let's experiment, but not really.
Let's experiment with social plausibility.
So like when you hold your hand over somebody else's mouth and they hold it over yours, you
right.
Yep.
tongue kissing. Yeah, right.
Only if your hands were a layer of saran wrap.
They had latex gloves on, right?
I kissed a guy once, but I didn't really like it much. So I guess that means I'm not gay. Excuse me, you did do that through a dental dam. That does not count.
I mean, I stuck my dick in a guy's ass once, but I had some latex around it so it didn't actually touch.
Yeah. What's the call on that one? Nope, just in, not gay.
Did the condom break? Oh, yep, sorry, gay.
Oh, sorry, you're gay.
You can't get pregnant, but you can't get gay.
That is how it works. So, you guys, Josh, Phil, you guys had the Malort as well?
Yeah. And I've pulled up the Wikipedia page for it. Apparently, it is a Swedish concoction.
Do you hear that, Phil? Do you hear that, Phil?
It's Swedish? Oh, right. What's it? What is that sound? Is it the sound of 2 rooms full of people gagging? Ushering in a
that's
segment
it.
that
I
we
think
like to
that's
read.
it.
Phil reads from Wikipedia.
Sounds like a train when you're far away.
So Jepsen's Malert is a liquor, a brand of Basque produced by the Carl Jepsen Company
Now,
in Chicago.
that Bosque is a bounty hunter from Star Wars, right?
Right. That's correct.
All right, excellent. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Basque is Swedish for bitter, so this is aptly named.
Yeah. It's Swedish for no.
And Malort is Swedish for horse shit.
Oh, man. Before I forget, I did want to point out that we had, sorry, I changed the subject real quick, but
No, please.
We had multiple members represent in the costume contest. We had 3 people from TADPOG Nation win Judge's Choice, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. You were in that costume contest, Phil.
I did not win. Drunk Santa was apparently not as well accepted as Fuzzy Peach. Kyle from Experience Grind, and then Andrew Dembski and Shane Davis dressed up as a Hyrule minstrel show, which was really popular for some reason.
Yeah.
Their costumes are really good.
Yeah, Link and Dark Link, I think.
Yes.
I enjoyed tasting Shane Davis's shame whenever we were all sitting in the courtyard or right outside the pool, the little deck area. Because we were trying to take care of Ryan from Experience Grind as he was
a podcast
incredibly.
That
you should also listen to. That'll be in the show notes as well.
Yeah, and that's another story we'll probably have to tell at some point.
And I'm not sure if Shane had been drinking or he was just nervous, but he sat down and he was talking to us. He looks over at Melissa and he's just like, "So are you Meg?" And she just kind of pauses for a second.
Oh boy!
And I'm like, man, have you listened in like 2 years? And then he just then I think you realized what he'd said, and he just put his hands in his face. She hugged, like, it's okay, it's all right, that's fine. I'm Melissa.
They both start with M.
That's tough. It is tough. Bubba Drewski, who came with Bubba Shane, I made an offhanded joke, really, when I was playing Cuphead on Twitch about how much I liked King Dice's character design. King Dice is essentially like one of the last bosses in the game, and he runs this casino, and he's a dude with a giant D6, I refuse to say anything else, D6 for a head, wearing like a purple suit. And I made a joke about, King Dice, I like this character design a lot. Like, he would make an awesome costume. Like, doing a King Dice cosplay for like Dragon Con or something like that would be amazing. And Bubba Drewski said, I'll make that for you. And I said, okay, thinking that would never, ever happen in a million fucking years. And he came to the Arcade Expo with an awesome fucking King Dice
it was
mask.
great.
It was amazing that he brought. It was like, I've got something for you here, and it was just like, what the fuck? This is awesome as shit.
It was so cool. It was so cool. And as soon as you put it on, and like looked at everybody, I mean, like the reaction. I wish I would have been like getting pictures or video of the reaction, because everybody was just like, "Oh, that's so fucking cool."
It was really cool.
It was so awesome. The Joker face on it was perfect. Like, it was, oh man.
Yeah, and it's set up so I can
So
see through
good.
the eye holes and everything. It was very, very well done. So. I know I thanked you already, but I'd like to thank you publicly, Bubba Drewski. Thank you so much for bringing that. It really, it was amazing. I brought it back to the room because I didn't want to get damaged, and I think Nikki was in there, and she was like, what is that? And I explained it to her, and I put it on, and she's like, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah. When I rode to the bathroom, I looked up and saw the head of King Dice in the closet.
Next step, you need to get yourself a purple butler's outfit now and complete it.
I know, I do, and I'll wear it to Dragon Con. I think that'd be really fucking fun.
It would be.
I think it'd be really fucking fun. It'd be hot as shit, but it would be fun. I need a purple
We
butler
can mount
suit.
some fans in there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, right. An inflatable, get like an inflatable costume. I just actually take one of the inflatable T-Rex costumes and spray paint it purple. Those are actually probably really hot as well.
You brave it. I was able to do it for a little bit with the Lounge Wizard and the Santa Claus costumes. They were hot for sure, but I will warn you. I got my first full cosplay experience of someone feeling that they can fuck with you because you're wearing a costume.
Oh, really?
I got pantsed while I was watching.
What?
watching the Fire Mario challenge. Someone came up from behind me and just tugged those fucking Santa pants down. And I looked around, and I couldn't. I don't know who it was. So
please tell me
if you're
gotcha, bitch.
if you're listening, that is assault. And thank you for tuning into TADPOG.
Yeah. Were you wearing anything underneath? God, I hope you weren't.
Yeah, I had long like ski leggings on underneath, so it wasn't like, and I was pretty drunk, so I didn't care that much.
Well, now it sounds comical.
But yeah, it does. But I mean,
make it sound more rapey, Phil, please. Come on.
I forgot about your Lounge Wizard cosplay.
Phil had some good looks going on the whole weekend. There was the Lounge Wizard, the like drunken Zen master Phil.
That thing is choice.
It's good. It's your hair.
For those who weren't there, it's a poncho. It's kind of a brown plaid poncho that my mom made for me out of an old Scooby-Doo shirt, and then had a belt that goes with it. So combination of the two looks very like wizard robish. And then I had this leather pouch from a Renaissance fair that fit perfectly with it, and just used that as kind of my purse to carry shit around in all weekend. So it was just the pinnacle of comfort. I had some slippers on underneath with hard leather soles, so I could go out in public and be fine there. And yeah, it's just I was on cloud nine all weekend wearing that thing.
I remember seeing the slippers and thinking, how is he walking around in the things? So the sole, yeah. And you were TADPOG Santa or drunk Santa or bad Santa. There were a lot of names for Santa, but you also came bearing gifts because you had your pouch and it wasn't empty. It wasn't a prop. You started handing out little bottles of liquor to everybody that was there too, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, I cleared out the bottom shelf of the dollar liquor bottles. So I hope everyone enjoyed their glazed donut vodka and whatever other disgusting flavors I was able to pick up.
Mine's in my fridge.
Mine was good.
I think Nikki was like, "Would you like me to throw that away for you?"
I saw a few of them sitting out the next morning. So, but if it's an 80% like drink rate, I think that's probably fine. I'll live with that.
Agree.
I did not drink mine because I believe you gave it to me the morning of Jager Lunch.
Man.
I was very surprised that Jager Lunch continued this year with Sean of Nerdy Thursday. So that was really cool because we thought he was not going to be able to come because of a flight being canceled due to bad weather. But yeah, lo and behold, Sean shows up on, I think it was Saturday morning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Days kind of blur together.
Correct.
At the Louisville Arcade Expo.
Micah picked him up as a surprise to everyone. And it's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin like shattering glass sound, and Sean comes in. It's like, oh my god, it's fucking Sean.
Nerdy Thursday is another podcast, which I'll have a link in the show notes, so you should listen to that one too for sure. I heard a knock on my door that led into the courtyard. Micah did a wonderful job and got most of us rooms leading into a courtyard.
Not me.
Do you know the story why?
Because my room got eaten by a dog.
Yeah, mine too initially. Here's the little story you don't know about yet. So we go to check in on Thursday, and I'm like, all right. They give us our rooms, and it's like, okay, cool. And I walk to the room, Nikki and I walk to the room, and it's like, where is everybody? I don't know. That's weird. We're right next to the pool. And it's like I start unloading. I unload everything. And I brought an extra TV to set up the RetroPie that Chris Vaughn made for me. I brought the Switch and set it up to the regular TV in the hotel. We brought board games and card games, which we didn't fucking play. But got all those out, put into drawers and everything, unpacked fully. And then Micah comes to the room. He's like, why are you guys here? I was like, what do you mean? Why are we here? This is our room. This is the key they gave me. And they give us a map and everything. And he's like, you're supposed to be in the courtyard. What the fuck's up with that? And I was like, I don't know. Let's go to the front. So we go to the front. and they inform us that there was an incident involving a dog, which they refused to give details on. And I feel like I pressed a little bit because, like, did the dog die or something? What they would not. Their stock.
Is it still in there? I'll just move it.
Yeah, I just move it. And then what they kept saying was there was an incident with a dog in the room, and we have to ionize the air in the room. So I guess probably a dog just shit everywhere. And I kind of wanted to say that's fine, but also at the same time I didn't want to be gross. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then Micah and I stood at the desk and for like 30 minutes tried to work out where they could put us, like if there were any available rooms. And I was like, well, it's no big deal. And then I was like, oh yeah. At this point, we didn't know if our friend Brandon of Axelay fame was going to be there or not. So it's like, fucking switch me with Brandon. Does he have a room still? And it's like, yeah, he does. And he's like, I was like, all right, let's switch it out. And then I found out that not only my room was messed up, your room was messed up. And so I was like, oh, wait, do you mean to tell me that my room's directly next to Tyler's? And she was like, yes. I was like, definitely move me the fuck out of that room because he is going to be fucking all the time.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it, but Brandon might.
Fine.
Brandon might, and he did.
What the hell kind of incident with a dog shuts down 2 rooms?
2 dogs, or the dog with the 2 different rooms?
It shut down 2 fucking rooms, and they weren't connected. So
It's a hell of a dog. It's a hell of a dog.
I know. The only thing I can think about is the dog got in a fight in one of the rooms and killed a dog there. And then on the way back to his room, died.
Yeah. that checks out. I mean, one of the things I was grateful for about this weekend was the inability of hotel staff to rein in drunk middle-aged adults playing video games until 4 a.m. So like the fact that this dog incident could happen, totally checks out. Makes sense.
I love that you mentioned their inability to stop us because another favorite moment of mine was being in the courtyard that we all share, most of us shared, at 4 a.m. And looking up on the second floor and seeing like so many lights lit up with dudes on telephones staring down at us. And it was like, man, this is like fucking like, this is like we got to fight for our right to party here. It was totally.
And we would have won. We did win.
Nothing was, I did get a noise complaint on one night.
Yes, but that took the cops and the fire department.
Yeah,
it
police and fire showed up.
yeah. And it's like, somebody we were chatting about it in the courtyard. We started waving at all the people in the rooms. And one of the things I learned later, I think like Saturday afternoon, I was, you know what? Some of them actually just want to come hang out with us.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what's going on down there? But they were afraid to do it. So we started inviting people down. I wish I had done more of that from the beginning. Just like inviting random people to come do that, because I think that's what some of them were. But definitely a few of them, and I'm thinking specifically of the people right above your room, Dave.
They were mad.
They were not happy.
Oh, they were mad.
I remember this guy, and I was like, yeah, he looks about my age. He also looks like he has kids because he's mad. He's like mad. And I think he was like here to have a good time with his family. But then we were there.
Yeah, so sorry guy.
So he was looking out the window like, I'm just going to stare back. I don't really know what to do. And then he picked up the phone, and I was like, all right, I'm out. I don't want him to describe me to anybody.
Goodbye.
I don't know. What do you expect? What do you expect?
Right?
I don't know.
And the hotel really did not. Honestly, I don't really feel
they did not care. I have never been in a hotel where people cared less about what happened to their own hotel.
We had so many rooms that if they kicked us out, like they were. I'm not going to pay for a room I'm not going to stay in. So it's like, I mean.
Exactly. So it became like I can't kick out 30 people in 12 rooms, 15 rooms. So sorry, dude, you're gonna have to find a different room or a different hotel. That's just what happened. So
yeah, we're gonna build a reputation.
Such a giant shitty hotel.
It's a dump. Yeah, Phil, you summed it up perfectly when you said, yeah, it's a dump. Like that is the best way to put. Sorry, owners of that hotel, but you run a dump. Some of the guys we were hanging out with in the courtyard, it was someone's birthday, and he was telling me that like he's from Louisville, and he was telling me that like that hotel we were staying at used to be like they used to have like performers there, and he said it was like really nice at one point. It is not anymore.
Wow. They did have one courtyard that had like a sculpture of like a bronze horse.
Like a fountain and shit in it.
Yeah. And that was nice.
Nobody was there.
Right. I didn't feel like I belonged there because I was like, this is too nice. I'm going to go back to the shitty courtyard where we had Jager Lunch. Right. Jager Lunch.
I treated that room like Adventures of Zelda. Like I was like, okay, I'm in. Now I go one door north. And then I go to the pool area.
And I certainly
could not find my way around that.
Jager Lunch was my second favorite thing. Seeing Sean surprising us, and because I heard a knock on the door. I open the door. The first thing I see is Sean from Nerdy Thursday. The second thing I see sitting in front of the center of the courtyard is the biggest goddamn bottle of Jägermeister I've ever fucking seen. And I knew that Jager Lunch was on. Here's a little secret. I was gonna do Jager Lunch anyway because I wanted to continue the tradition, but I bought a smaller bottle of Jager Lunch and Jägermeister for Jager Lunch. We killed both of those bottles in probably a little over an hour's time.
Did you just pass the bottles around?
Yeah, we passed the bottles around. Like I know, like Bailey from Hobson Heroes was drinking straight from the bottle. I know, like Stephen Michael from Facebook. I know that he was. It was a mix. I was a big puss, and I definitely mixed it with Red Bull in a plastic cup.
I think you were a smart instead of a puss. I mean, because we passed around that bottle of Andre until we killed it.
Oh, so we did drink that, didn't we?
After the fact, I was like, man, if one of us has a cold sore, we all have cold sores.
Congratulations, we all have herpes. Yeah. It was.
We're the Hepatitis A crew. Welcome to TADPOG.
Yeah, this is no longer TADPOG Prom. This is Hepatitis Prom. Hepatitis the Prom. It was really cool.
Hepatitis T.
Hepatitis T.
Yeah, I woke up to Jager Lunch being chanted in the courtyard. I think I don't know what day that was. I think it was Saturday. That was after 2 consecutive 4 a.m. nights.
Oh yeah.
And eerily reminiscent of the Suck It Dry video from the first year, both of which led by Dave chanting. So
suck it dry, Jager Lunch.
That Jaeger bottle was insane, though. It looked like one of those Costco-sized olive oil containers, like a half gallon worth, and
it was an industrial bottle.
Yeah. It is. It does have like a handle on it, though, so I feel like it's being used for its intended use.
Yeah,
right.
And it was nice and cold. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the next step up was like a 5-gallon bucket of Jaeger. So
yeah, I know.
And there are videos on TADPOG Nation of people at Jager Lunch if you want to go see them.
Yeah, we do have a Facebook group called TADPOG Nation. Search it up on Facebook, and you can see Jager Lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I make a hot take here? I mean,
please.
I think the Louisville Arcade Expo is the worst part about TADPOG Prom. I think everything else.
I agree.
That is a hot take.
Yeah.
I like the expo very much. Thank you.
The expo's good, but I don't spend any time playing games there. Like I wander around a little bit. I play some, but most of them are 1 and 2 player setups, and I find myself wanting to do like the X-Men arcade where you can get 5 or 6 people on there, or I forgot the NHL game that was essentially NBA Jam with NHL that I played with
Ice Fight.
Yeah, and that thing was great, but like just rolling up on an arcade cabinet and playing it, like I'll do it for like 5 minutes, be like, oh, okay, move on to the next one.
They had really cool.
I'm so glad
room.
You said that. Yeah.
They had a really cool room called the History Room. I don't know if you guys spent any time in there, but they had a whole bunch of older consoles that I had never heard of, which I thought was really cool. It was kind of like a relaxed room. It was well lit, unlike the rest of the expo floor. And they had like a whole bunch of history pieces where it's like they had like a Dreamcast set up. They had a Virtual Boy, which I thought was amazing because I had never used a Virtual Boy before. So it was nice to be able to sit down
and just get a migraine.
It was okay. So about the Virtual Boy, I played Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy, and it was a lot of fun. I actually I played a full game and popped my head out. And yes, the first thing I noticed was like, wow, reality hurts my eyes now, adjusting. And then the second thing was like, I wonder how much I can buy one of these for on eBay, because I think if I were to do any game collecting seriously, it would probably be Virtual Boy, because I feel like there are not many games for it. I could complete that collection pretty quickly.
There aren't.
And
Todd Dunnigan has one.
I forgot that Tyler Dunnigan got one.
Yep.
I'm jealous. Wonder if he'd sell it.
Probably.
We'll settle this off the mics.
We'll steal it. It's whatever.
Let's steal it.
We won't press charges.
We'll throw a brick through his window in the middle of the night, scare the shit out of him, steal his Virtual Boy. But I thought that room was really cool. I liked the expo. It is, in my opinion, a little too pinball-y for me. I would like to see more arcade games on the floor. I know pinball is like a big thing, and it's like a big part of it. And I know Chris Edler's really
suck it, Edler.
He is not my friend anymore. He has written me off. But I do wish there were more arcade games, because I felt like almost every cabinet I had to wait in line for, even on the last day. I got to play on the Donkey Kong machine that Billy Mitchell set one of the records on.
Allegedly.
Wow.
Allegedly. But the marquee was signed by him. And I played on that. And then right next to that was the first Donkey Kong machine that had a kill screen on it. And it was dated and signed as well. So I thought that was really neat that they had like history pieces there, as well as, regular versions like Joust and stuff like that, I also, I did really good. I played one game of Galaga, and it turns out I'm a lot better at Galaga when I'm not like reading chat on Twitch and also trying to be mildly entertaining at all.
Shut the front door.
I played one game, and Phil, I don't think I even like touched one of your scores, but I got 105K, which is like a really good first run for me.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then I kind of like threw my hands up and I was like, George Costanza style, like, I'm done. I'm not going to start a second game and die in like 20K or something like that. There was no Galaga tournament, was there? Did I miss that? Or they had one last year. Phil, you played in a lot of the tournaments, didn't you?
I played in the Power Pad Olympics. I placed fourth in there. We had five of the 8 competitors in Power Pad Olympics were from the nation, and we finished 4 through 8.
Oh my god. That's glorious. I love that.
And then we had the Fire Mario Challenge, which I think Micah got 4th this year, and I got 6th. So we got shut out of that. But I didn't do any of the competitions on Sunday because I was traveling, and I didn't know what they were going to do. I think they were mystery competitions this year. So I passed on those.
I could have found out what the mystery competition was, but what happened to me on the last day on Sunday, I spent so long in the history room with my cousin David and Akemi and Nikki that eventually someone came in the room and they're like, "We're closed." And I was like, what do you mean you're closed?
Out.
Like, we're closed. Finish up your game. Finish up your NBA Jam 2K17, which was amazing. I don't know basketball, but it was just cool that there's an NBA Jam cart that gets issued out like every year with like updated rosters and shit like that. That was really cool. And cousin Dave and I were playing that, and then someone walked in and was like, technically we're closed. Finish up your game and then get the fuck out. So we did that. It was so weird because it was like, it's like when you're at a bar when they turn the lights on. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Because we walked out on the lights. We walked out on the expo floor and like all the lights were on and like people were like wheeling machines out of the building. Like they were going quick, and it was just like, oh wow, this is just like a conference room. I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a sobering moment because it's like, oh fuck, I have to go to work in a couple days. There were also, I know you mentioned the tournaments that were on the arcade or the expo floor, Phil, but there was also the Experience Grind guys. They hosted an ice hockey NES ice hockey tournament in their room.
Oh man,
which, Josh, you did very well.
I did not expect to. That was a total surprise to me, and I think everyone else and Kyle, and rightfully so. I hadn't played an old game like that. I used to play them a lot, and Drew Rowland gave me. I was like, Drew, I don't want to feel stupid. Like, I know it's a Nintendo controller, so like, yeah, tell me what the two buttons do. I like, maybe it'll come back to me. And he gave me this really great like pep talk, and he's like, no, you can do it. And he told me what the buttons do, and gave me all these tips like with shooting and all that, and how the goalies and the people move. So that was one of my highlights, was that game against Kyle, because I was like, and Kyle even shook my hand and was like, "Thank you for helping fill out the playoff roster." Like, like we both acknowledged that there was no way I was going to win that game.
I lost. Drew's pretty bad.
Great teaching.
Yeah. I lost to Micah.
It was close. It worked out. And so we went to like triple overtime, and there was a shootout, and then they pulled the goalie. So it was like 3 overtimes. And so I ended up winning that game. And that was like one of the highlights of the weekend for me.
Nice.
Just to not embarrass myself in front of everybody else.
It was a cool event.
That was really cool.
It kind of got me in the mood to maybe bring an NES next year and do a different tournament as well. I think it'd be really cool if we wound up with more tournaments in the hotel rooms than there are on the expo floor.
I totally agree. One of my questions for you guys was, how did you spend your time? I think we've kind of over the course of the conversation, but like, I loved all that stuff and getting people into the rooms and like the karaoke and rock band stuff. And even leading up to the Fire Mario tournament, just watching people practice for it and watching Phil and Micah make some really good runs. It was just like, whatever they do in the tournament, the Louisville tournament, I knew that they were good at it. They had a good run. They had a good shot at doing it. So, we had a crew there that there were some really great gamers. So I would be all for more of those games.
And I drunk watched the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super with Ben Caruth.
Oh, nice. He's a huge fan of Dragon Ball.
He's on his phone. We laid in bed drunk and watched Dragon Ball. What the fuck is Goku doing? Did he fucking master Ultra Instinct? Motherfucker.
I lost in the, I feel like we need to talk about this a little bit. It's probably going to be spotlighted, I imagine, in the Experience Grinds retelling of the expo. But in the NES ice hockey tournament, I lost to Micah, and I completely blame Ryan of Experience Grind, because in the middle of our game, he burst into the room, the drunkest I've seen a human.
Yeah, do you know who did embarrass themselves this weekend? Ryan.
Oh, it was Ryan. For sure. He burst into the room, laid down on the bed, which I was sitting on to play, and then kicked me twice in the back and shoulders. And it was like, and I turned around like, and then I realized, I was like, oh, he is super drunk and doesn't even realize that he kicked me.
Melissa went with him, and they were playing a game of drinking Uno with some strangers. And they had these very punishing rules for if you get like a reversal plate on you or anything like that. So Melissa ended up having to take like 1 shot of vodka.
I didn't realize that Melissa was playing with him.
She played with him for a while. Ryan took like 10.
Oh, God. That's a lot.
Very quick succession.
I've been there.
And that dude is skinny.
Yeah.
Like, he is not built for it. So it's
hard to be built for 10 shots in a row.
I mean, I watched Kevin Link do it. He's a big dude, and he threw up everywhere. And just drunkenly laid in a bathtub and sang "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" because he thought he was seeing death. So, like, Melissa was like, "He's been gone for a while. Should I go check on him?" Just that time, we saw all those people bringing him back, worried about him. Like, we don't think he could have made it here by himself.
He's broken.
And like eventually, because
fix him.
Ryan's wife Laura had to come back and try to like peel him off of them because he kept talking to them and going back. But they were clearly trying to like, here you go, drunk person, bye bye. And he just nope.
I feel for him because that is where I was pretty much last year. Instead of being like nice and trying to reintroduce myself, like Ryan did, I did try to break down the bathroom stall door while some guy was taking a shit in there. So,
quote unquote, you attacked that door like a walker. That's what you said.
I did. I attacked that door like a walker, and I will I'll remember that. I'll carry that with me for a while. I'm probably going to drink with caution, like a little more caution than I have in the past, because I have never been like.
No.
No, you say no. Well,
No,
it's
don't do it.
Not at
Louisville. Not at Louisville. Maybe generally speaking.
I got you. Well, my sister is getting married in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to get lit at her reception. Like, it's going to be. It is. I was talking to some people at work about it the other day, and I was like, man, I cannot wait to embarrass my family.
Nikki can stay home. I want to be your plus one.
Yeah.
And I want to see that super drunk Dave talk with his dad.
Yeah. You don't want, no. Yeah, actually, you do want front row seats for Dave telling his family what he thinks.
I'm gonna learn to play "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi on guitar. and when the second you step up to him, I want to pull it out. Meow, meow, meow.
Honestly, I hope he drinks a lot too.
It's a great pull.
It could be a disaster. It could be a disaster. Yeah, it might be a disaster. I'll have updates on a forthcoming TADPOG episode.
Although I do, I want to talk about, make sure to have a note of it to talk about it. Paul Pick.
Yes.
Paul Pick has long gone without a title.
I know, he has.
Oh.
He came bearing gifts as well.
Mr. Pig?
Mr. Pig. He brought a carton full of legit OG Coke Zero before they changed the formula to Coke Zero Sugar. Mm-hmm. Those were good. Tyler, you gave me some which were bad, and I do not know what the difference is, because I cracked one open. I was like, I brought them home, and because you gave them to me as like a Christmas present, and I cracked one open when I brought them home. I was like, look at this. I showed Nikki. I was like, Tyler fucking saved some fucking old Coke Zero for me. How fucking awesome is that? Truly, honestly, a wonderful gesture and a fantastic gift. Thank you for that. That was amazing. I cracked it open in front of her, and I took a drink, and it was just like, it tasted like metal. It just tasted like I was drinking like
yikes,
the liquid metal Terminator.
I shouldn't have kept them on my roof then for 6 months, I guess.
And I don't know if it wasn't because I was not following the implicit instructions on the box to drink it ice cold, because I did drink it room temperature. I think that might have had something to do with it. But
it's a little different, yeah.
But Paul showed up with a carton of Coke Zero, and it was awesome to have that.
But we went to Twig and Leaf, and we briefly talked about
which is a diner.
Title. Yep.
And I chose that diner because that is where Captain Gunner, John Turley, worked when he lived in Louisville. I was hoping that he would be there with us, but I don't think that.
Yeah,
if he was, he made it before I did.
Because I told Micah the same thing. I was like, that'd probably be a good place for all of us to like have brunch or some before we all head out.
Did you also forget how small it was?
Yep.
Because I sure as fuck did.
I did, and whenever we walked in, Melissa turned like, "Who the fuck's idea was this? God, this."
It was mine. It was mine.
It was mine. I said, "Well, it was mine," and she just like paused. I was like, "Thanks, though." Like, okay, well now I feel like shit. Thank you. So we both told Micah we can leave.
Yeah,
which was very good.
The food there's amazing and cheap. If you're in Louisville, definitely check it out. I had a cheeseburger, and however, that looked like Stephen Michael had. Man, those eggs look good because he had breakfast food. He got eggs that looked amazing. I wish I could cook eggs like that.
Like your cousin David. We were sitting by him at the bar, and he just when the guy came to get his order. What's the biggest thing you have?
I know. I asked him what he got.
I'll take that and some potatoes.
David.
Which turned out to be, I asked him, I was like, what was the biggest thing they had? And he said, well, it was kind of hamburger nachos. I was like, what do you mean it was hamburger nachos? Like, well, it was 4 bottom buns laid out on a plate. And then it was everything you'd find in a hamburger, but in nacho form. I was like, how was it? It was pretty good. It was a lot.
I'll take the biggest thing you have stuffed with the second biggest thing you have.
And it was also Phil's birthday. Happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Someday.
I didn't wish you happy birthday on Facebook because I did it in person, and that counts more.
That's okay. Does it count more these days, though?
It does. It does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Of course it does.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been able to do it had you not spent a bunch of money on plane tickets. So thanks for coming out.
It was worth it for the free cake.
Because I told that guy, I was like, so the guy down there with the glasses, would you give, it's his birthday, would you give him a piece of whatever cake you think is the best? He's like, all right, you may make a big deal about it? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And right at that time, Phil, you just happened to get up and walk out of the restaurant.
I saw Phil leave, and I was like, oh, is Phil leaving? I wanted to say goodbye to him. Phil, what were you doing out there?
It was a small restaurant, and I didn't want to take up room at the counter after I was done eating.
Oh,
so
that's very considerate.
I figured I'd go outside.
Farting then. I got it. Check.
The server got bored. He was too busy, so he was like, here's the cake. Just sat it down. And I was like, hey, man, where'd you get this cake about you?
Well, Phil, was that the slice of cake that you were eating at the counter?
Yeah.
Okay, because from my perspective, I was talking with Zeus Laser, also known as Yuri. That's his real name, or his first name.
I called him Zeus the entire time because that is
Me
the
too.
best
Me
fucking
too.
name.
Yep. That's a great name. I don't know if you go by that name, I would not go by any other. Just insist upon
It doesn't
that.
get much better than that. It's like Max Power.
It doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, it is. It just is.
But I was talking with him, and so Phil gets up and comes back with this slice of cake, and I was like, "Oh, it's his birthday." He was like, "I'm going to treat myself." So he ate that, and I didn't know that there was a.
Which reminds me,
Did
we lose Josh?
Yeah, but
I love Phil's. Yeah.
The show must go on. Yes, we lost him, and I. So I weighed myself before and after, and
nice.
This was a 5-pound weekend. I went from 218 to 223.
I gained some weight too. I'm not able to fit into the jeans that I was able to fit in before I showed up to the expo. So I'm wearing my second smallest jeans.
I should have done that, but I didn't.
Let's play a game called I wonder what Josh was going to say. I bet he was going to say
in and out for 30 seconds.
Hey,
and I think I heard my
Josh.
name accidentally.
Welcome back, dude. What were you saying? We were trying to guess what you were saying. Bye, Josh. So, how was your Louisville Arcade Expo episode? Really fucking sucked a lot. Fraught with technical difficulties.
But while we wait for Josh, we also discussed with Edgelord Kyle about Paul Pig's title.
Right. You were in the middle of starting it to talk about that.
And while we were discussing, he's like, you know who he looks like? Nick Frost. I was like, Nick Frost. Oh, he's Simon Pegg's counterpart on all of Simon Pegg's movies. It's like, he does look like him. All right, so we spitballed around. we landed on Frosty Pig.
All good things start out with, you know who he looks like?
So it'll make more sense if somebody would go through all the pictures that he's in and Photoshop a Wendy's Frosty into his hand.
I thought you were going to call for side-by-sides of Paul Pig and Nick Frost.
That works too.
With Frost, sharing Frosties.
Do we want to spitball that? Welcome back.
And welcome back, Josh.
Oh, sorry. God, all I heard was intermittent laughing like every 7 seconds.
That's the gist of it.
Do we want to go with Frosty Pig, or do you want to go with something else?
I mean, it works for now, for sure.
Okay,
so
for now.
So we
for
got
now.
it.
So he has one.
Here's why I say for now, in case he doesn't like it.
No, yep. There you go.
Because I would hate to get now I imagine here's my nightmare. My head pops off my pillow tomorrow morning, and the first thing I do as I'm peeing, I read Messenger, and it's like, oh, here's 8 lines of angry messages from Paul Pig.
Paul Pig is unpredictable. See, and I fucking set that precedent, changing Bitch Wizard to Captain Gun Nerd for John Turley so people can be unhappy with their title.
That is true.
You mean Burger Bottom?
Burger Bottom Bitch Wizard John Turley.
That title then is open for Paul.
Yeah, so yeah, Paul Pig could be Bitch Wizard Paul Pig if you want that one, Paul. Or Burger Bottom if you want that one. That's open as well.
Which I'm very glad John and Ian, Wisdom Sage Ian, were there. That was great.
It was awesome.
It was really cool to meet. It was really cool to meet everyone.
And Josh is gone.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
We are about at time.
We are about a time. And I want to thank everybody who came out to TADPOG Prom. I know there are a few people that we haven't mentioned yet, but thanks so much for coming out. I know that Rhythm Master Paul Korn and Yarn Sorcerer's Soul Sister Chandra, Soul Sister Yarn Sorcerer, sorry, Chandra, are planning on coming back next year and having a recuperation room, which I think is an amazing idea.
Great idea.
Where they have like water and stuff for hangovers.
Paul's just giving out hand jobs.
That does relieve me.
Got to work it out of your system. Got to work it out.
Got to get that venom out. But I know we mentioned Drew and Bailey, but we didn't mention that they are from the Hops and Heroes podcast, which you should certainly check out. And there are a whole bunch of other people. I feel bad because I can't mention everybody who came out, but
there were about 40 people this year.
Lots of people, and it's amazing. And I hope that we get to do it next year, and I hope that there are even more people next year. But I got to meet executive producer Janie, who handles all of our YouTube stuff, and her wife, Terrified Michelle, which was really cool. And then. Man, I am falling down that rabbit hole where it's like I'm gonna start mentioning people, and I'm definitely
you're making an Oscar acceptance speech, and you're worrying. Yeah,
I am.
Gonna miss all of the people.
I'm gonna get played off. I'm sure. Actually,
speaking of which, don't we got something from Micah that we wanted?
We did. I hope we. I was gonna say that.
We do have. Micah did leave a voicemail. And because he wasn't able to make it to record this, and since he essentially organized the whole damn thing, or 90% of the damn thing, I felt like it was important that he gets to say something about the event. So I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. I've got you guys on Discord on my phone, but I'm also going to try to play the voicemail from my phone. I don't know if that's going to work, but here goes. It is playing, but it's playing super soft. So I think what I'll have to do is, I think we'll probably have to say bye to you guys and then play the call. Thanks for being on with us. And it was really good seeing both of you. I'm glad that, and I know R2 was really happy to see you, Josh. So that is code.
R2D2, it is you. That's great.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to say before unceremoniously boot you off of this call?
First vomit was at 10 a.m. on Friday. That is the time to beat for next year.
And Phil set up cones to make sure nobody stepped in it.
Yes, thank you for your safety.
That was good.
Effort was made.
No, and I would just like to say thank you to all the people that I was a first timer this year, and it was great meeting everybody in real life. I feel like I reached level 4 status of friendship with a lot of people who I converse with, digitally. It was awkward at first, but everybody's really nice. They're really kind, and not just because of the hand jobs.
But they certainly
people were really, really nice to me, whether they received one or not. It was. I was impressed. It was an easy weekend to make new friends. I hope people who are thinking about coming next year would consider that and be brave enough to join us, because it was a great time.
One more thing, fuck United.
Right,
fuck United. Yeah, everyone got fucked over United flight.
Nate, they damaged Nate's baggage. They made Josh and I miss our connecting flights. I'm sure they probably stepped on a puppy during the weekend at some point. They were just fucking awful.
Just kicking puppies right and left. It was terrible.
And they punched that guy a couple months back.
And he was mad about it. He was mad. He was upset. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being on, y'all. One more thing before you leave, and I do think it's important to bring up because we are spicy boys on this show. Did you guys try the hot sauces that were brought?
No.
I'm an old man who is proof, so I don't. I lose at those reindeer games. I don't do that. I don't do that well. Yeah.
I'm not a spicy boy. I'm more of a butter boy.
Ben had brought the Last Dab, which is hot sauce made from pepper X, which sounds like the kind of peppers that like Krang would eat, which was very
That
hot.
sounds like a porn star, to be honest.
Pepper X, Pepper XXX. And then Micah actually brought some hot sauce called The End, which came in a Bible. And it was very, very hot. And it was nice being able to share that experience with so many people because we ate those in my hotel room.
It's on the TADPOG Nation page.
It
Mikey
is.
captured it live.
It is.
Ruined my Saturday. Absolutely.
Yeah, fucked you up.
Or was it Friday? I could eat at Cashmere. Like I immediately afterward had like the heat cramps in my stomach. Like I was being slashed open. And I woke up first time at 6:30 a.m. to just a burning hole of fire dump. And then again at like 8:30, then at 11, and then again at 2. And I just, couldn't eat, couldn't do anything. I was miserable until about 10 o'clock, and I was okay. But yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that, Tyler. I remember you at Cashmere. I remember you getting up and going to the bathroom a couple times.
I just got bread and soup.
If it makes you feel any better.
What do you want? I'll have the bread and soup.
I'll have your prisoner special.
Right. Also, shout out to Cashmere for the inadequate lighting in the second room.
Year. Yeah, they totally fucked us.
We ate in
the
someone's
food
apartment.
was good.
Pretty much.
Well, the inadequate lighting really made it feel like a romantic TADPOG prom dinner. It was really quite,
Or eating in a cave.
something like that. One of those two things. Yeah.
Also, I ordered my meal traditional hot, and it was not hot at all. So
Kyle had the same thing to say.
yeah, really. So yeah, it was kind of it was fine. The food was still good, but it was just kind of a bummer, especially because the first night was hot sauce night. So, which I'm glad you said heat cramps because I've been dealing with those today hardcore because I'm not positive that the hot sauce was left for us. But when we were leaving, the Last Dab was still there. The Pepper X hot sauce was still there. And I was like, I am going to go ahead and take this.
Yep.
Ben, if you want it back, I will ship it back to you or I'll PayPal you the money because I fucking love this hot sauce. I had tacos today, Taco John's, and I fucking loaded those fucking tacos up with that. And it's like, my mouth is watering right now thinking about it, how good it was. But at work at like 3 o'clock, I did feel like a miniature Wolverine was inside my stomach trying to claw his way out. So I got to pretend to be the Tarask from D&D, which is fun. That's how I got through my work day.
Well, before you play the call from Micah, I just have a couple little thank yous if I could voice them.
Please.
And that was to my roomies. You know who you are. One of them
Phil.
is here. Phil. Yeah. Drew and Bailey. There was a night that we all fell asleep watching Friends. And I think that means, in a way, we're kind of married.
Yeah.
That is common law marriage in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a sacred ritual.
Yeah. It's 7 years spent living together or falling asleep watching Friends together in a hotel room. I have married so many prostitutes that way. That's a joke, in case my son listens to this when he's 15. Look, if you hire a sex worker, son, it's fine. Just be safe about it. That's all I worry about.
Wear a condom while you watch Friends.
Yeah, right. You be you, but also be safe.
And then my last thank you is to Mick Pirtle, who is incredibly average, and I hope he realizes that no other Lord is exalted. He is the only one of the Lords exalted, and I hope he feels good about that because he should.
Yes, absolutely. Cheers to exalted Lord Micah Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got anything else?
Nope. Out.
All right.
Same.
I am logging out of Discord. I hope to be talking to you guys soon, maybe while we're playing Warcraft 3.
Not if I log out first.
All right.
And he's gone.
All right, Josh. Take it easy, man. Thanks for recording with us.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye, dude. All right. Now let's see if this phone call will play at a reasonable volume. Now it's going to be blaring, I'm sure.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Micah.
Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue. Hey, I know you guys are going to be recording the episode over the Louisville Arcade Expo, a.k.a. TADPOG Prom 2018. And I couldn't make it in to record, unfortunately, but I wanted to drop a quick line and just say thank you, fucking thank you for everything that you guys have done from the show standpoint to put together this fucking universe, this fucking nation that we have that allows us to all be able to come together and hang out and have fucking people that we know from all over the fucking country. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. It's amazing. I don't even know how to put it into words what it means to me. Also fucking huge fucking props and huge fucking thank yous to everyone who made it to Louisville. I know there was a lot of travel involved in that, driving, flying, especially with some of the horror stories of flying that I've heard from the people that flew United.
Fuck United.
Hashtag fuck United. But thank you to fucking everybody that made it possible. I know I couldn't have fucking held it together without knowing how good the weekend was going to be and how much fun it was going to be, and I can't fucking wait till next year already. The one request that I have is we try to fucking just keep making it bigger, keep making it better.
That would be cool.
We had 16 fucking rooms this year. In theory, all of our rooms should have faced the courtyard if it hadn't been for a dog shit room and whatever else happened in that other room.
Those dogs died.
But it would be fucking amazing if we could get all the courtyard facing rooms just to be our fucking group. So let's work on that. Make fucking plans. Start fucking making plans now. TADPOG Prom 2019. You got like 360 fucking days. Get in on this shit. All right. Talk to you guys later. Keep up the good work. Peace.
That was a nice call.
Yep.
Thank you, Micah. And I mean, thank you for saying those nice things. And thank you for organizing this shit. Because, like, you seriously were, like, TADPOG Prom chaperone #1. So, yeah, I hope we get to do this again next year. I do hope it's bigger. And I hope that Jager Lunch continues. I'm actually really looking forward to next year's Jager Lunch. We're probably going to get 3 big bottles of Jager.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Next episode, we're going to be going back to our NES list. What were we
Star Tropics is next up on the list.
Okay.
So that's one we'll do.
Okay.
That is a game we'll play.
Okay.
And talk about.
So Star Tropics.
So next episode, I don't want to say it because it means I commit to it. That's why when you looked at me like, what are we doing next? I didn't want to say it because I
can just do it. I can just do it if you want.
Just do it.
Yeah, you can just
want
to
do it.
You can just hang out.
No, I want to play Star Tropics.
You just make like 5 quizzes and I'll talk about Star Tropics.
I know, right? This quiz is called Stars or Tropics. So yeah, I don't know. I am not thrilled to play Star Tropics, but a lot of people like that game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like that game, but when I look at it, I'm like, this game looks not good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Yes, and Google Play.
Google
We never
Play.
mentioned that,
Google
but like
Play.
we figure if you're using Google Play, you found us already.
You're there. It's
You're
fine.
there.
Hey, do you want to send us something like we got today, the packages? You can send that to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky, 42002.
You can call if you want.
Yep.
We do take voicemails.
Mm-hmm.
We let Exalted Lord Micah Purdue jump line specifically for this episode, but we are now, I think, listen to voicemail from June of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. Mm-hmm. If you want to call us, it's 270-883-2555.
Hey, we got a Facebook, facebook.com/TADPOG. TADPOG Nation, that's a group you can come into.
Mm-hmm.
We've got it guarded. against robots. But yeah, I mean,
And
hey.
Nance.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. I need to throw some of this stuff up on Instagram that we got.
Mm-hmm.
So TADPOG_podcast on Instagram. I think that's about Patreon.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy this? Did you enjoy this episode? If you didn't,
We understand.
we get it. But if you did, and you want to give us some money, you can do that at patreon.com/TADPOG. Give us $1 and you get access to like all the bonus episodes we've done each month since we started it, and all the bonus episodes that we're going to be doing as long as you remain a pledging member. I would like to thank a few people who have donated recently. And actually, I meant to thank some of y'all last episode, but what happened is we didn't plug Patreon, and because of that, I forgot. Either that or we did plug Patreon, and I forgot anyway. Platinum member Brett Miller, dude, thank you for upping your donation. Really appreciate it. Edgelord Kyle Pirtleball, thank you for upping your donation significantly, man. Really appreciate that. Paul Anderson, who I met at the expo, dude, thank you for your new pledge, which is sizable for sure.
It's getting into Naruto. That pleases me.
Yeah, I saw that post on the TADPOG Nation. That pleases me as well. He'll have me beat in Naruto in no time because I didn't finish it. I'd like to thank Capsaicin Czar Chris Dixon for upping his donation. Chris, dude, thank you. And once again, Platinum member Brett Miller upped his donation again. So, dude, we really appreciate that. And that is it.
Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Link to that track found in the show notes at tadpog.com. Mm-hmm. How do you close it out, Dave?
By listing everybody who I forgot to mention during this episode. How about that?
Okay.
Let's do that. I mean, let's do that all at once. I cheated because I have a list. There's so many people that we met that we just didn't mention. It makes me feel bad.
Well, it's a lot of people.
Master Mold was there.
We were all pretty drunk. See, I missed it. I slept through him being there entirely.
Master Mold was there, who sponsors our NES Classic episodes, so I feel like it's super important to mention him. Other people were there, too. Josh and Nicole, our friends who live here.
Josh and Nicole. That's true. That's true.
They were here.
I enjoyed seeing really drunk Josh for the first time in a while.
Oh, I didn't get to see Josh really drunk, unfortunately. And I'm sure that's probably it.
Okay, Tropical Capricorn.
Tropical Capricorn. Michael Ward, I know I saw you there too. Dirtbag Keith, I know I saw you there too.
Oh yeah, I met him in the brief 2-hour window. I was awake that day at Dairy Queen.
Yeah, no, I think he said next year he's gonna try to ditch the kids and come solo or something like that, so he can spend more time in the courtyard drinking. I hope.
Yep.
Seriously, sorry if you weren't mentioned, but it was super fucking great meeting everybody. Tropical Capricorn.
Did we mention Nerdy Thursday, Sean, and Nerdy Thursday?
Yeah, we sure did. Jager Lunch.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So, I forgot somebody. I was worried it was going to happen, and I forgot somebody. A few people, actually. So, hi. This is me, 45 minutes to publication. And I just wanted to say that I feel really bad because I forgot to mention Joey Webster, who... Drinksmith Joey Webster. Will that make it up if I come up with a title without consulting Tyler at all? Drinksmith Joey Webster. And I totally forgot Joey, and I think it's because he was mixing some baller ass drinks all fucking night. A drink that we named a Beetlejuice, which I'm not sure I'm allowed to tell you what's inside of it, but it kind of tastes like root beer. So it's like a hard root beer. And then Mel, who he was with, she came up with this drink that tasted like an orange dreamsicle, and it was fucking amazing. So my point is that I think the reason that I forgot them is because every time I would see them, they would make me a drink, and then things would get fuzzy. So I'm really sorry that we didn't mention you earlier, especially because those drinks were off the fucking chains. Also, this is worth mentioning, and I meant to bring this up when we were talking about tournaments, but in Pinball Archmage Chris Edler's room, he and Heather had a N64 that was hooked up with 4 controllers and WWF No Mercy, a game that I have never played, and but however, would like to do an episode on that one day because we've been talking about it for probably 3 or 4 years, doing an episode with Micah on that. And it seems like maybe Chris would be a good fit for it too. But anyway, now that it's just me spitballing in the middle of the night. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Love you. Bye.
My pea jar is currently filled with water, but
Pea jar.
I'll drink that down first, so I'll have an empty pea jar to use.
All right. I do believe we might have a new stinger.
And a new shirt.